Super-duper-doo, how are you, Rowie? What are you doing? Well, I'm in my kitchen. I've got some Easter eggs. Now, the joke at our house is that you come to my house in any time of the year that isn't Easter and there'll still be Easter eggs because people give me Easter eggs at Easter time because I love chocolate, but I'm not the person that needs to eat chocolate all at once, so sometimes I've still got Easter eggs at my house in November. The sad thing about these gorgeous, yummy, delicious things, is a lot of people don't eat Easter eggs because they think they're bad for them or they don't want to put on weight. So I've bought my scales as well. So I've got my Easter eggs and I've got my scales. Now, I don't ever stand on these scales. These are in our house because my husband is a martial artist who has to make weight for fighting. But what I've done for fun is I've put my Easter eggs on the scales and they don't weigh very much. So when people say to me, I can't eat chocolate because I'm going to put on weight, I always ask how much, and that's a little bit of a sarcastic question because we get so caught up in weight and calories and what I look like and how much body fat I've got and do my clothes fit me, and it's this. I just think it's a really horrible way to live. Now that's just my personal opinion, but I'm going to ask this very personal question. If you didn't ever have to weigh yourself, measure yourself, if you just fitted into your clothes, you had a stack of energy, you performed at your best, you loved what you saw in the mirror, and you enjoyed all of your food, and whatever you were eating and whatever you were doing in your life, it was giving you the life that you want, wouldn't that be a beautiful way to live? Now, I'm just going to ask that question with this as much personal respect as I possibly can, because that's what I want for people. And isn't that what personal respect is? That you live your life to the max. That's not just a Rowie quote. That's every single day. 100% love my food, 100% love my exercise, 100% love my life, my family, what I do for a living. Everything should be about, I want to live my life to the max. And my next very personal question is, how can you do that? If you're constantly focusing on how much do I weigh, what are my measurements, what's my body fat percentage, I've got to have a body scan, I've got to make sure that my clothes fit me. Here's a great thing. If you're really fit and really strong, is it possible, I'm so excited I can't even talk, is it possible that the side effect of being fit and strong is that you will have a lean, fit, in shape body? Rather than focusing on the in shape body, I've got to have low body fat percentage, I've got to weigh a certain amount, is it possible that if you are fit and strong, your body will burn up everything that you put in, your body will tell you that you're full so you don't eat too much? That's why I've got Easter eggs at my house in August, September, November, December. Sometimes I've still got Easter eggs from the year before in my cupboard, and they still taste delicious, by the way, because I don't need to eat food. I only eat when I feel like it. I eat when I'm hungry, I stop eating when I'm full, and that is the sign of a healthy hormonal system, a healthy endocrine system. Your body will tell you what you need. Now, this is my begging position, what I would love to think is that we don't need to weigh ourselves. Now, if you're an elite athlete and you have to make weight, so if my husband's fighting in the under 75 kilogram category, he's got to weigh himself to make sure that he weighs under 75 kilograms, otherwise he can't compete. If you're a jockey, if you're a boxer, there are some sports where you have to weigh a certain weight. But what is that? And I think that we forget that it's not the wobbly bits on our body, because when I stand on a scale, that is the measurement of gravity pulling me into the ground. The reason I don't fly up into the air is because gravity pulls me back into the earth. So when I stand on the scales, that's telling me how much of that gravity pulling me back into the earth, what is that number? And that is not my fat weight, that is not my... And that's what people are so concerned about. I don't want to put on weight because I don't want to be fat. That's usually the statement. But there's three things about weight that I think we forget, and I think they're really important. And when I don't stand on scales. Sometimes, let me think of a time. If you've had a medical procedure, sometimes you have to sometimes I've had an x-ray or a scan and I've had to stand on the scales. I don't even look at the numbers because I don't care. But here's the really important thing about weight. I don't want to lose weight. I'm the woman that wants to maintain my weight and or get heavier. And there's three reasons for that. The main reason that elite athletes weigh lighter coming up to competition is they dehydrate. They lose water. Water's heavy. And if you weigh less because you are dehydrated, your brain's made predominantly of water, your body's predominantly water. If you're dehydrated, how do you think you feel? And please take a look at elite athletes that are dehydrated. They are not in peak physical condition. They're not going to perform at their best. They've just had to make weight. And the first thing that elite athletes do after their weigh-in is to drink as much as they possibly can so they can hydrate really quickly, so that their brain works effectively, their body works effectively, and they can compete effectively. So we don't want to lose weight from water, and you will. If you don't drink for a few days, you will weigh much less on the scales, but you'll feel like crap. The next two are just as or more important, depending on how you weigh all this up. I don't want to lose bone weight. And you do as you get older. If your bones are wasting away, when you stand on the scales, you will weigh less. It's called osteoporosis. It's called bone wasting disease. And I don't want my bones to waste away, because your bones are your posture. Your bones are your immune system, because your immune system's built inside your bones. And obviously your bones are designed to get you moving around. If you don't have a skeleton, if your bones are wasting away, life is not very good, is it? So I don't want to lose bone weight. So when I stand on the scales, I don't know whatever weight that is. I don't know if I've lost bone weight or water weight. And the third one, even more important, depending on how you look at the whole weight system, is muscle weight. If I'm losing muscle weight, if I'm losing muscle, and muscles are heavy. Interestingly, fat, not very heavy. We seem to associate what I weigh on the scales with the squidgy bits that I have on my body. But the squidgy bits that you have on your body are actually not that heavy. Isn't that exciting? Muscle weight is heavy because muscle is an active substance with massive blood supply, and it is our metabolism. Our muscles control how fast we burn calories at rest and when we're moving around. So the more muscle you have, the more calories you burn, the faster your metabolism, either the more food you can eat, or if you eat the same and you speed up your metabolism, you'll actually lose squidgy bits off your body. But that won't show up on the scales. If you are, and I'll use myself because I am a woman and I can't talk about men because I'm a woman. As women get older, most women lose muscle weight. On the scales, they actually get lighter. But most women don't get lighter on the scales. It's just the muscle that's wasting away. If you've got less muscle, you put on more fat, so that the weight on the scale, if it's the same, there's a different distribution. And I use that example. If I'm 20, 30, 40, 50, and I weigh the same as a woman, but I haven't done any maintenance of my muscular system, so my muscles will waste away, and they do, at about half a kilo, if not more per year, depending on how inactive you are, then if I'm weighing the same on the scales, I've got less muscle, slower metabolism, I'm going to be fatter. I'm going to have more squidgy bits, flabby bits on my body, even if I weigh the same. Now, for most women, as we get older, we don't even weigh the same. We put on weight, we lose muscle, which means we're really putting on a lot of fat weight, which doesn't look nice. And of course, that has a lot to do with your size, because fat is really big, muscle is really small. Isn't that interesting? A lean woman without very much body fat is very small, because women, we're just missing that major ingredient for muscle size increase, which is a massive amount of testosterone. We just don't have it. But even if we did have it, wouldn't that be awesome? And that's why I get a little bit miffed sometimes, because men have this easier ability to put on muscle size because they've got testosterone, which means they have a faster metabolism, which means they can have a leaner body. And if you maintain that for your whole life, it means it's not the weight that's the concern here, it's the flabby bits. So if you stand in front of the mirror, you could stand on the scales and weigh yourself and you could be the perfect weight, yeah? But what if you stand naked in front of the mirror and you jump up and down and you've got a whole heap of stuff flabbing around? There's a big difference there. And isn't that interesting that a lot of people's lives are controlled by how much they weigh? But is it more important to look good or to weigh a number on the scale? And I'm going to do this again, because that number on the scale is just how much is gravity pulling me into the ground. And I don't care, except that I want to get heavier as I get older, not lighter. Because if I can get heavier as I get older, it means that I'm keeping my bone mineral density, I'm keeping my muscles, I'm keeping my hydration. So I might not want to get 10, 20, 30 kilograms heavier, but if I can maintain my current weight and or keep putting on a little bit of weight as I get older. And the other really interesting thing when you're a woman, and this is something I'm very aware of, often you have to sacrifice between your face and your bum. So So there's a lot of women, and I have been working with women all of my life, that they become very, very thin as they get older. So their bum is thin, but their face is really thin and they look really old. So that's one of the things that I'm always weighing up. I want to stay looking young in the face. And if that means I'm going to have a little bit of extra on my backside, and maybe that doesn't matter. And that's a very personal thing, I get that. But the thing here is about health. And if I'm losing water, if I'm losing bone mineral density, if I'm losing muscle tissue, I'm going to be unhealthy. I'm going to have an unhealthy brain, an unhealthy body. I'm going to get osteoporosis. My body's going to waste away and I'm going to get old really quickly. So the scales really are, for me, the only thing I want to do on the scales is stay the same weight and or put on a little bit of weight. I don't want to lose water. I don't want to lose muscle. I don't want to lose bone. And I can tell if I'm putting on fat size. I can tell if I'm getting chubbier because I just stand in front of the mirror. The beautiful thing about the mirror, it's completely honest. Have you noticed? If you jump up and down in front of the mirror, the things that, if you hang on to the bits that are supposed to wobble and there's still wobbly bits everywhere else, then that's something you're going to have to weigh up for yourself. You might be happy with the number on the scale, but that's not telling you anything. It's just telling you how much gravity's pulling you into the ground. So how about this? I'm going to ask the question again. What if you could eat whatever you wanted to and burn it up without feeling guilty, without putting on extra flabby bits? What if you could enjoy Easter, Christmas, birthday, Valentine's Day, buffet? Every time you eat out, you don't think, oh, I can't eat that because I'm going to get fat. If you've got a fast metabolism and if you've got a positive attitude and if you've got a great endocrine hormonal system, you can't even eat too much because your body won't let you. You just feel full and you stop eating. And isn't that beautiful? Rowie, do you want some more? No, thank you, I'm full. That's why these things can stay in my house for 12 months, because if I'm not hungry or if I don't feel like chocolate, I just don't eat them. Now that's me, but I've got physiology on my side and so have you. If you want to be fit, healthy and strong, the side effect of that is you'll have strong muscles, strong bones, fast metabolism, healthy endocrine hormonal system, so you'll be in control of your hormones, not the other way around. You'll have good posture because you've got strong bones. You'll be able to burn up everything that you put into your body because your metabolism's fast. You keep spiking your metabolism because you're getting puffed on a regular basis. You're maintaining your muscles and bones because you lift heavy things on a regular basis, and life just becomes this beautiful experience. At Easter time, at Christmas, at your birthday, every day of the year, you can sing like I do. I feel good, na 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 na, because I knew that I would now, na 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 na, because I don't weigh myself. What a horrible thing to do. Woohoo!